This is the final part of the treasure chest tutorial, and we get to the part with the actual mechanic of the lock picking part where you got to hold down the fire button and then there's a little rotatey thing, and then eventually when it gets around to the boom, when it gets to that point, the chest then opens. So without further ado, let's get started after the fade.
So really the next step is we only want to open the treasure chest if the player is holding down the mouse button for a certain period of time, and then once they have reached that certain time, then we want to open the treasure chest. So I guess that's what we're going to do next. Okay. Alrighty, so we really need to know what the player is looking at. So does this have a collider on it? This does not have a collider on it, does it? Oh dear, what am I doing here? There we go. Put that back there. Okay. So we want to be able to know if this is touching it. So I am going to add a tag. I'm going to add a tag, and I'm going to call this treasure chest. Okay, so now I've got to go back to treasure chest and choose treasure chest. So I want to know if the player is looking directly at the treasure chest, because if they're looking directly at the treasure chest, then I want to be able to react to it. So you've basically got to be looking at it there. So okay, so we can try let's try raycasting first of all, see if that gets us what we need to do, and then we'll work it out from there. Okay, so here's our original update code. So inside our update, I want to cast a ray in from the screen using the current camera. So we just need to know the transform of the player. So if I do public transform player, and then I do so now I've got the transform of the player, I know what direction they're facing in, because I can just do player forward, and that gives me my forward vector. So I can do physics, raycast, and then it's going to be the origin. So raycast all, because I want to get raycast hits. And then the position, so that's going to be player.transform, player.position, and then it's going to be the direction, player.forward, and then the max distance, I'm going to make it 10, because our room's not that big, and I don't want to go too far over there. Okay, so hits is that, so for each hit in hits, if hit dot collider dot tag equals treasure chest, print hit. And then we'll add a timestamp as well. Time dot. Yeah. Okay. So long as we're looking at it, then we should know that we're being hit. So our debug room, move up to there. Then our player is our controller. And I'll clear that there. Oh yeah, there's two cameras, isn't there? Main camera. I will disable the audio listener on this one. Okay. Okay, well, that didn't work. Let's see if that hits anything. So we'll attach to Unity, bring it back online. Hits, okay, so it hit two things. First one is treasure chest. There you go. Did I call that the wrong thing? So it hit the plane. I'm not interested in the plane. And I spelled treasure chest wrong. And also, I really shouldn't do that. I should also do to equals. This is more anecdotal than anything else, but I seem to have problems when I do equals equals with a string and tags. So we'll see what happens there. Okay, so I'll reset that, let it count down, and then we'll try that again. Oh, we're hitting. Oh, we're hitting. So we're quite far from the object, and we're hitting quite a bit. So we really should dial that down to be within a certain radius of the object. So we should only really be within, say, maybe 3 units of it, because we really should be right up beside it. Maybe even 2. So we won't. So the reason is because you can't open an object if you're not right beside it. That's my logic behind there. So right now I'm looking directly at the treasure box, but I can't open it until I get to about here, and now I can open it. So now that it's available, and if I turn away, then I don't have access to it. So okay, that sounds good to me. Okay, so if I'm hitting it, then I want to increment a counter. So I want to increment a counter while the player is holding down the fire button. So when they hold down the fire button, then I want them to know how much that is being opened. So, and then at the end of it, I want to open the crate. So I'm going to add a public float time to open, and I'm going to make that 1 second. And then I am going to say, I'm going to have a method in here called, what am I going to call this? I'm going to call it open chest, because open chest is me wanting to open the chest. So maybe I want to call it public void attempt open. And I want to know, I also want to know like the current time as well. So I need to have a current time here as well. So float current open time equals 0f. Okay, so I'm going to say current open time plus equals time dot delta time. So every time we call this attempt to open, it's going to add the delta time to this counter. And then if time to open is greater than 1f, open chest. Nope. Sorry. If current open time is greater than time to open, greater than or equal to time to open, open chest. And we only want to attempt to open again if the lid state is closed. So if chest state equals lid state closed. So we're just adding a couple of fail-safes here more than anything else. So we want to check to make sure that the chest state is closed, and then if it is closed, then we want to open it. And we also want to expose this current open time as well, but we'll do it as a percentage. So public float time to open. This is our property, and then we're going to do get, and then we're going to do return current open time divided by time to open. So this means that no matter how much time it is, it could be 10 seconds, it could be 3 seconds, it could be whatever you set it to inside here, that we're going to return back a percentage of that. So we're always going to know the percentage of the open time, and that's going to help us because we're going to have a UI that shows how long it takes to unpick the lock. Okay, so there's our open treasure chest there, and then our code in here. So if it equals that, and input.get button, so get the button state of fire 1. So in other words, the player is pressing fire 1. We want to call chest attempt open. Okay, so we want to attempt to open the chest when the player is pressing fire 1 and they're looking directly at the treasure chest. Okay, so again, none of this code here, how we actually open it, I mean, it could be it's a key, it could be anything, it could be all these different ways to open a treasure chest. All of it is completely separate from the actual functionality of opening a treasure chest. So we have two scripts, one to open the chest, which is this one over here, and then the mechanism that we use to open that chest. So in this case, it's staring at an object and holding down a button for a predetermined amount of time. Although that information's over here, but I mean, you could have it just call open chest, close chest. So this is just another bit of functionality that you can add that. Anyway, so let's try this here. So we go over to here, and then if I hold the button down for a second, the chest opens. Okay, so we can go back and we can change, let's change that to, instead of time to open, maybe it takes 3 seconds to open this chest. And again, for all the objects in the castle, you can go around and you can, you know, spend time opening these things. So let's try and open this chest. And there you go, it takes 3 seconds to open. So that's great. But we really want to know how long it's going to take to open it up. You want to give the user some feedback as to, you know, what's the end goal in all of this. Like, not what's the end goal. The end goal is to open the treasure box, but the how long is it going to take? So luckily, there is actually a nice handy feature inside here. So I'm going to bring this up for image. So we have our image here, and we need to bring up the sprite. So to do that, I am going to create just a very, very simple, make it teal, I like teal. I'm just going to make a very, very simple round object. That's all. So I'm going to start roughly about here, drag that out there. There's my teal object. So my teal object is going to be, I get this one here. So my teal object is going to be my indicator. So I'm going to call it indicator, because why not? Okay. And then I'm going to choose this as Superweb Legacy, and I'm going to change that to PNG, save, and then I'm going to call this, I'm going to store this in the same place as this, and I'm going to call that indicator.png. Okay. So when I go to here, art, textures, and I have my indicator, which is my PNG, and this is going to be a sprite. It's a single sprite. It's 64, I guess. Bilinear is fine. I don't need mip maps. Apply. Let's make sure everything's okay. So that's fine. And then in my image, I'm now going to drag that over to there. And now the cool thing is I can change the type. I can change that it's now going to be filled. We're going to make a radial 360. So the fill amount is currently 1. And you can see that it's there. So I'm going to fill origin from the top. So now when we change the fill amount, it's going to go boop. Then when it gets to that point, it is then going to disappear. Okay, so the current fill amount is set to be 0, and okay, I think we're good. So the current fill amount is 0, and then it goes to 1. So that's perfect for us because you know, we only wanted to go from 0 to 1 because remember we changed this percentage over here, so this is only going to give us a value from 0 to 1. So when we read this value, we can then get that value there. Okay, so all right, what size is this just now? So that's quite big. So if I keep that on screen just now, you can see that that's massive compared to the box there. So I am going to change the size of that. Where are we? So come around here and change this to 2D. And I still want it to be in the center of the screen because it's nice the fact it is centered in the screen. So we're still going to have that centered there, but in our game it's going to be much, much smaller. So when I run up to this down here and then I do, that's going to change to whatever indicator we want. So right now it's going to be indicator 0. So that's going to be our, we'll call this lock pick indicator. So that's the canvas that we have for our lock pick indicator. And over here in our treasure chest, we're going to have public image indicator. I'm going to add our UI element there. So our debug room, which is slowly becoming no longer debug, and these things happen, is now going to take control of our image. So if we're holding it down, we want to change the indicator. Indicator dot fill amount is going to be chest dot and then the property of that time to open. And then we're going to add another one that, well, let's just leave that just now. I want to have one that says if I release it and I still have a time to fill, then I want to cancel the operation. So right now I'm just going to go ahead with it all. So we still have a couple of clear out things here, but when I run up against here, and now we look at the treasure chest and then go, and then hold the button down. Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's looking good. So we want to say time to open, closed. We also want to expose the current state as well. So I want to do public lid state, current state, get, return, chest state. Now, the reason why this has got a squiggly against there is because we need to change this enum to public so that we can read it from other classes. So that's that fine there. So we have our time to open, our current state. Okay, so if you're holding the button down, and then we've got to say if chest dot current state is opening, indicator fill amount is equal to that. Otherwise, indicator dot fill amount equals 0, because we want to, once as soon as the player has opened up the chest, we want them to like cancel it, like remove that image from the UI. So wandering over, if I press the right buttons, so wandering over here, and then I press the left mouse button, oops, current chest state is opening. Why are you not working? Actually, maybe I want to flip that around. If I want to say is equal to open, maybe that's a better way of putting it, because if it's already open, then I'm not interested in, yeah, I'm not interested in it being visible anymore, because it's open. Okay. So again, there we go. And then it will disappear. It didn't. Mainly because I think it's because this is going to be true, so if the lid is open here, let's get rid of all this code because we don't need it. Okay, so this checks to see if we're touching the chest with the fire button down. Is the chest open? then clear the UI. Okay. And then go over to here, and then we press our button so our UI is playing. There we go. So our UI gets removed, which is fine. So that's good. Okay. So if the player releases the button though, and if the player releases the button, I want the countdown to, I want it to like, again, this could fit in your mechanic, but I want it so that it doesn't interfere with it. What the, huh? This has been a long video. I'm going to cut this video into lots and lots of different pieces, but it's been a long video for me. I want it to reset the attempt and to reset the fill amount if the button is up. So if input dot get button up fire1 and chest.time to open is greater than 0. In other words, we've tried to open it. Then I want to do chest.clear attempt. And I want to set the indicator fill amount to be 0. So if the player releases the fire button too early, then I want to cancel it. So I'm going to have to add another option here that's clear attempt. And so this is going to be current open time equals 0f, and that resets it. So, okay. So let's say you get interrupted. I'm thinking kind of mission, no, sorry, what was the game called? Impossible Mission. Mission Impossible? I can't remember what the name's called. Impossible Mission. Where you would search and the robots would come and they would disturb you. So that's the kind of idea I want to go for. So I search and search and search and search. I cancel and then it clears off, and then I go back and search and search and search, and it should go back to the start. And it has. Okay, so every time I clear that, it's not that I'm adding up to it, it's just that it's always cancelling, which is perfect. And there's the chest open. Okay. So I think that's a good place to stop, I think.
And that about wraps it up for the treasure chest tutorial. So thank you very much for the question, Pepe. It was a great question. I love it. Keep them coming, and we'll build these things together. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. If you liked, thumbs up. If you didn't like, thumbs down. And let me know what you liked, what you didn't like about the video. Everything is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for your time. It's quite a long series. This one is like an hour and a bit worth of a video. So thanks very much for sticking around. Throughout the whole video. So until next time, thank you very much.